Hi Sagittarius, and welcome to your November 2019 general reading. So I'm going to do monthlies, and I'll be doing a monthly update, but I've just had a bereavement, and so I won't be doing my normal weekly readings because I need to honour the process that I'm in, Sagittarius, okay? So can you give me one additional guidance card for Sagittarius? Okay, you got Serendipity. Serendipity is about flow. It's about coincidences. It's very much about being at the right time, being in the right place at the right time. So that is when the universe starts to work for us, when we're in a state of flow. Okay, so when we're in a state of flow, we're not in a state of having to control things, we're just much more open-minded to what the universe wants to bring us. I always love my life when I've got that serendipity card. Maybe that's a message for some of yous, because life moves. I think you might find life's going to move you into quite widening circles. There might be a date with destiny, basically. So can you just give me a minute while I focus on the cards? Please give Sagittarius some clear reading for the month of November. One more shuffle. So, what's going on? So you've got the Ace of Swords behind you. The Aces are always gifts. They're gifts of insight, gifts of love, gifts of inspiration. The Ace of Swords is some sort of clarity that's came your way. Now, it's with the Five of Swords. You know what, Sagittarius? Just about everyone has got the Five of Swords with the Six of Wands. So you've got this clarity with the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords can be quite a challenging conversation. It's quite a challenging mindset. But you've got this immense victory with this Five of Swords. Can I carry on to see what else is going on? Now, what you want is Temperance, which is your own card. So you want to be in your own power. And when you're in your own power, Sagittarius, you're very much about expansion, moving beyond previous limitations. Let me carry on. The gift is a Star card. Wow. The challenge is fear, a Nine of Swords. So what's going on in your relationships? You've got a King of Wands. Can I just move the cards a little bit, guys, so you can see the cards that have came up? You've got a King of Wands. Tends to be one of the fire sign people. Don't tend to read the cards that way. Obviously, for some of you, it's a fire sign. For other people, this is about passion and attraction. A lot of charisma. Some of you, this might be a person. The King of Wands is a very charismatic character. So what I want to do is, I need to move everything because you can't see the cards, guys. Money and work, you've got the Fool card. How beautiful is that? The King of Swords in a soul position. Okay, if I remember right, you had the King of Swords as a challenge last month. I don't know why that stood out for me, but it did. And then you get the Wheel of Fortune, which is serendipity. I was sort of expecting the wheel to show up for you because believe it or not, Sagittarius, and it's always quite hard to see this, but all our destiny is already written, okay? And it's always about living in a state of grace and being open to the flow of this destiny that brings it to us. So serendipity and the Wheel of Fortune's the outcome, which is a date with serendipity. It's a date with destiny coming your way. I'm going to leave it here so you can basically see the cards. You've got an awful lot of major arcanas. 4. Temperance, the Star, the Fool, and the Wheel. So I want to look at your gift, to tell you the truth, because this is a gift of grace. It's this absolute beautiful openness. Now, when someone's been ill, or when there's been a problem with someone, problem with finances, problem with anything, the Star card is one of the cards I always look for, because it's a healing card. Essentially, it's a card of healing. It's also a card of very much the divine feminine. It's about transparency. It's about openness. It's this overwhelming feeling of being connected with spirit. And I'm so happy with Sagittarius that you've got that card as a gift. Now behind you, that Ace of Swords, the Five of Swords it's one of these cards. It's about communication where someone always has to be one up. You know, that very ego driven conversation where someone has to get the last word. It's a card of victory, but it's one of these victories that leave a little bit of a bittersweet, is that the right word? Because it can be a victory that comes at a little bit of a cost. For some of you, there's some huge clarity coming around a dynamic. And the dynamic is with you and other people, because there's more than one person in this card. The Five of Swords can also be a mindset. I am finding it's just so odd, just about everyone's got this card. And I don't know, when that shows up, there tends to be a very powerful astrological significance. But for everyone, including you, it's coming with a victory. Very interesting. Love to know how this plays out for you guys. So always let me know. I generally always reply to emails, by the way, because I grow through you. So what you want is Temperance, which is your own card. Now, Temperance floats on the water. You know, sometimes in life, I think every single person watching understands those times in life when we drown. Yeah, when feel that we're submerged. This is about floating in the water. It's about incredible balance, but an incredible sense of expansion. But she's so balanced. And because the Star card is the gift, both of these cards are very, very feminine. So they're very soft, very loving. And I am going to use the word very, very healing. And there might be some healing with another person going on here. Is there a connecting card between these two? Ace of Pentacles. So for some of you, this definitely might be about finances, because the Fool and the Ace of Pentacles is about a brand new beginning and a brand new start. It's almost like this clear canvas when you're going off into some brand new journey in your life. Now the challenge is fear. The Nine of Swords is one of these cards. Now Leo, I think it was Leo who got exactly the same card in the same spot. The Nine of Swords is a card of basically running to the future, this unknown future, and trying to work out every worst case scenario that can possibly happen. The reason the mind does that, Sagittarius, is in order to, it's a way for you to try and feel safe. So by imagining everything it can go wrong, you're sort of trying to find a way to not make a mistake, to not expand, and to not grow out of your comfort zone. So even though it's this incredible openness, and I think for some of you there might be some gift, a new job, some sort of new finances, some sort of new start, with it comes fear. Now, it's quite, when we go into the unknown, there is always fear. And that is why what anxiety tries to do, it tries to run forward, dot all the I's, so you don't have to deal with this feeling of being in the unknown. But as a Sagittarius, that is a little bit about what your energy's about. It's about going into this boundless future in a very optimistic way. But there's a little bit of fear around this new beginning and this new start. Now, I want to go right to the soul level before I talk about your relationships, because there'll be no Vimeo readings this month, just because I'm in a very deep sacred process. The King of Swords, in his strength, is a neutral mind. So a neutral mind doesn't run to the future. It takes a step back and tries to have, just tries to be objective, tries to be open-minded. And for some of you, you're definitely dealing with an air sign. But if it's not an air sign, it's about a state of openness, being willing to maybe walk down new avenues that you've not explored before. Tell me more about this King of Swords at a soul position, please. It's with the Hanging Man, yeah. Thy will be done. Serendipity, coincidence. What, allowing life to unfold around you. Because anxiety doesn't want to take chances. Because it doesn't, that's just the nature of the beast, Sagittarius. And because Hangman with the King of Swords, this is about accessing a place that's way deeper than that. That understands that life brings us what we need. And it allows this process to unfold. Now, who's this King of Wands in your relationships, please? It's with the Page of Swords. So there might be some sort of communication with this King of Wands, okay? So, or this might be you, Sagittarius, standing up to own your power, okay? Because the Queen and the King of Wands are pretty much the same energy here. Some people would say the King's even higher than the Queen of Wands, but it depends how you look at it. But there's an awful lot of claiming this sense of power. Using that King of Swords and a Hanging Man to break through this energy of fear and anxiety, because you know what it does? It keeps you in this constant loop, because anxiety drains the adrenal glands, and when your adrenal glands are drained, you live in anxiety. So it's like being the road to nowhere when you're in this state of mind. So I love you to bring this powerful King of Swords to this situation and just say halt. A lot of people say, well, we can't get control of our thinking. Sometimes we can't, and other times we can. We can learn how to access and harness this very powerful energy. And the highest prayer of all is thy will be done, which is the Hanging Man. So where you're going to is the Wheel of Fortune. Very beautiful, guys. To me, that is a serendipity. It's some sort of date with destiny, some sort of change, because number 10s are always about one cycle completing itself, so you can move forward in a brand new one. I think for a lot of yous, it's definitely to do with what you do to make a living and your finances, because the Fool is a 0. So he's got a brand new slate in front of him, and he's getting prepared to walk down a new avenue. And the only issue you're dealing with here is the issue of fear with that 9 of Swords. Ooh, anything more? What is the anxiety about for Sagittarius, please. One card to tell them anxiety. Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles is a card of working as a team. It's a energy of pulling together to make decisions, to understand the nature of something. And because of these cards showing up in the relationships, there might be some conversations needed to be had around a relationship. And then the Star card would be the gift here, about transparency and a state of openness, Sagittarius. So we don't get cards like the Star card as a gift every day. We really, really don't. And I think there's a sort of opportunity for some of you to find an awful lot of breakthroughs, a lot of transparency, to walk down new avenues. And then when we're in this state of flow is when serendipity in the wheel tends to show up. Because we're connected. We're connected to flow. We're connected to our divine nature. And then that's when life becomes a whole new ball game. And the Hanged Man isn't a punishment, but it's a gift when we decide, oh, there's something way bigger in charge of my destiny. And I'm really, really happy to let it take control of things, to bring things full circle, that sort of thing. Even though at the same time, there might be a working with another person required, pulling together a little bit of teamwork here. Because that's what Three of Pentacles is about. You and me, and maybe even someone else. What's this about? How can we understand this? How can we pull together to move forward? Very beautiful reading, guys. Absolutely intrigued. Love it. So hopefully I'll be back for mid-month updates, okay? All depends on where I'm at with the process that I'm in. Lots of love, Sagittarius. Bye.